Naruto Parallels are undoubtedly one of the best aspects of the entire series. I remember my first time watching Naruto and seeing Team 7 bell training and not realizing that not only would it be a significant moment, but it wasn't the only time I would see it in Naruto. The bell training is one of the first significant moments in the series where we are introduced to something that would later go on to become a reoccurring parallel. However, to call it the first would be disingenuous because the first of the main parallels is introduced as soon as episode 3 within the series with the official formation of Team 7. Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi. Whilst in the beginning of the series it doesn't seem significant in any way, each of the characters in Team 7 has distinctive traits that serve as markers to help us see the similarities between the prior generations and the current. On the surface, some can be very easy to spot, like the general parallel between team formations. That being, almost every team in Naruto consists of a male sensei, 2 rivaling boys, and a girl. Team 7 consists of Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi. If we go one generation back, Team Minato consists of Kakashi, Obito, and Rin. One more and we see Team 6, who is the only team to break this pattern, led by Jiraiya, consisting of Minato, a character named Dekai, and an unnamed individual who bears a striking resemblance to someone from the Uchiha clan. However, some might argue that this team wasn't Jiraiya's true team at all, as it only existed for a short duration, and Jiraiya would later go on to act as a mentor for the Ame orphans Nagato, Yahiko, and Konan, who do fit the same parallel. We can see this in the 2 prior generations as well as Team 7 Konohamaru within Boruto, although this is where the parallel seems to end. However, within the teams we can find our next striking parallel, the rivalry between the 2 boys within the group. That too is a theme that persists throughout the entirety of Naruto. The majority of the plot is founded on the rivalry and similarities between both Naruto and Sasuke. You'll notice that in general, one character symbolizes the light and one character symbolizes the dark. The dark often tending to have ties to the Uchiha or a pact with the snakes, while the light can often tie to the Hashirama and the toads. More similarities can be found within the groups and their sensei. It appears that there is almost always a Hokage gene that runs throughout the teams within Naruto and has not strayed. In almost every significant team, the sensei goes on to become Hokage, as well as the male who symbolizes light. You can see this as early as the first real team was formed, Team Tobirama. Tobirama himself went on to become the second Hokage, and the male within the team that represents light, Hiruzen Sarutobi, would go on to become the third. His team would prove to be the only team once again that strays from this pattern. It appears that Jiraiya has special significance within the story because he is the only character who is able to break the patterns of fate within the story. He takes the role of the male who represents light and is clearly rivaling the dark Orochimaru. However, he rejects his path of Hokage and passes it to Tsunade, even though all the patterns in the series up until that point indicated he would be the Hokage. Perhaps it's linked to the Ame orphan Nagato, whose Rinnegan may have had the ability to change the ties of fate due to its innate nature with chakra in his origins. But regardless of Jiraiya's path, he too seems to have carried out the pattern through his shortly lived Team 6, as Minato would later go on to become the 4th Hokage. We can see the similarities continue with Kakashi becoming Hokage and Obito in his rivalry, all the way up to Naruto becoming Hokage and Sasuke in his rivalry. However, there is one final parallel that serves as a possible threat to some of the major characters within the series. While we established that there is typically always one member who becomes Hokage, there also seems to be one character who ends up sacrificing themselves. This parallel isn't as specific as the others, but it appears that every sensei eventually sacrifices themselves for the sake of the village, although the deaths aren't limited to only the sensei. Within the Sannin, Jiraiya sacrifices himself in the fight with Pain. In Team 6, Minato sacrifices himself to save Naruto and the village during the Nine Tails attack. Team Minato is a little bit different as Obito sacrifices himself in the fight with Kaguya. However, what about Kakashi? Being the sensei, it would seem that he's required to sacrifice himself at some point. Although this might not be a threat. Technically speaking, he did sacrifice himself in the fight with Pain, but he ended up getting revived. This begs the question of whether Kakashi is still at risk or if he's okay.